Humanity is indeed facing challenging times. There is absolutely no denying the fact of this. It is all around us. Wars, terrorism, famine, disease, corruption, homelessness, the end of the central banking pyramid scheme currently manifesting itself as the global financial crisis. Climate change the media tries to teach us is man-made, despite a wealth of scientific evidence to the contrary. And there are many other things besides. Even in this film, I've mentioned some of the challenges we are facing from the very governments and police forces we have employed to protect us. And who, through the use of a controlled media, have slowly worked to convince people that they are our rulers, when they are in fact our servants. Yet despite all the problems we face, any investigation reveals that all of these issues have a common cause, and that this cause can very easily be addressed. All that is needed to do so is public awareness of the real situation humanity is facing. In fact, when one puts away the fear, stands back and looks deep enough, it can be seen that all of these challenges actually present mankind with the most wonderful opportunity. Perhaps the greatest we have ever had offered to us. Indeed, such challenges as those we currently face may even be seen as something of a blessing, for were it not for the challenges, the opportunity we now have would never have presented itself to us. And it truly is being handed to us on a silver platter. What we are being provided with is an opportunity to embrace the power we all have. The choice to step away from the fear and to unite the human family. An opportunity for the human race to understand the connection we have to each other and to embrace a unity of consciousness. Certainly, it is extremely important that we free ourselves from the corporate shackles of this society. It is important that the social and political issues, the fake wars of contrivance, the loss of rights, and the attitude of our corrupt governments and police forces be dealt with. But what is even more important is that they be dealt with in the right way. That way is not through violence and revolution. It is not through a centre of anger and hatred. The powers that be want violent revolution. They want the polarised energy such conflagrations produce. But this must not be done. For the most effective way to deal with it all is through a peaceful rebellion of non-compliance to the system and through adherence to the one law, to connect to the heart and to do the right thing. Many people are waking up to this, and the more people who wake up, the more the field is charged with their energy. And so the field changes and continues to awaken more in turn as they draw new energy into themselves. And so it continues exponentially. The powers that be know this. They know the field is changing. They know that we have this opportunity to move into heart energy. They can sense how precarious their hold over this world now is, and how easily this control could slip from their grasp. This is the main reason for the current global instability and political tension, the recombinant H5N1 swine flu virus and accompanying vaccination program. in a blatant last-ditch attempt at depopulation. And there is a reason for all of these things to have been thrust upon us at the very same time. That reason is to manipulate consciousness through the use of polarized energy by creating an atmosphere of tension, of distrust, of anger, and of fear. The Earth is reaching the end of a very long cycle. The frequency of the planet is rising, and so with it, the frequency of all upon this Earth. The harmonic frequency of the planet, known in scientific circles as the human cavity resonance, rises periodically in the predictable steps outlined in the Fibonacci sequence of numbers. The last time this occurred was close to 13,000 years ago, and it is now occurring again. The current rise in frequency began in 1986 of our calendar, and this represents a very significant and extremely important time, both for this planet and also for all life that lives upon it. Evolution is a real process, but it does not happen as it is portrayed in the Darwinian model. For species do not simply turn into other species as Darwin theorized. True evolution is the evolution of consciousness. Such evolution is only a gradual process while knowledge is being acquired during each cycle. But the evolutionary changes each cycle eventually produces come as the cavity resonance rises and time speeds up at the end of each cycle. In such times, evolution comes very quickly. We are currently living in just such a time. The Earth is a conscious living being with complete awareness of itself. It is evolving, and the human race is evolving along with it. And it is not just localized to this Earth, or to this solar system, or even to this galaxy. It is universal, because it is the energy all is made from. It is consciousness itself that is evolving. Consciousness is on the verge of creating an entirely new reality, and humankind is the vector, the gateway between the above and the below. Humankind is the mind of God itself, and the choice of what the outcome of these changes will be lies with each of us. It lies within me, and it lies within you. It is a question of energy, a game of free will, a matter of choice between love and fear. Long ago there were certain forces that gained control of this Earth, and they have worked very hard in order to never relinquish this control. These forces operate through the ruling bloodlines and monetary system, and they rule the world today via the use of their favorite method, the manipulation of energy through the unbridled and relentless propagation of fear. These ruling factions know all about the great cycles this planet is subject to. They know all about sacred geometry and energy fields. They know that this consciousness is about to evolve, and they are attempting to control that evolution. They know that all of humanity is actually a single consciousness, and they know that if they can create as much fear in the world as possible, then that is the reality that will be created through this change. This is why the notion that such things like the end of the Mayan calendar signify doomsday are so heavily promoted by the media and Hollywood. The mass media and Hollywood are the tools used by the elite to influence and control the minds and the consciousness of the people. Hollywood weaves its spell by mixing truth with lies to create a distorted vision of reality and fearful visions of the future. Hollywood has always been used to do this, to influence the beliefs of the people. In fact, Hollywood has been used for this very same purpose for a very long time. Something you may not know is that in the long forgotten past, such control over human consciousness was the domain of the Druids. This sect would influence the people through ritual and the manipulation of energy fields. This was carried out by means of ceremonies that would be called magic spells and ridiculed by our modern society. The use of magic wands crafted from a particular wood that was believed to contain certain spiritual properties always figured heavily in these druidic rituals. The wood these wands were fashioned from invariably came from the holly tree. Throughout man's history, wherever mass mind control has been utilized, one will always find references to Hollywood. Changes are indeed coming to this earth. There is no way to avoid these changes. They are inevitable. Indeed, they are on our very doorstep. But these changes are nothing to fear. They are to be welcomed as a new beginning. However violent and painful they may at first appear to be. Such violence and pain is not dissimilar to the pain experienced in childbirth, for such is always the way new life appears. It is easy to promote a state of apprehension towards the coming changes. It is easy to exploit people's fear of the unknown, especially if such changes may appear at first as violent upheavals. And Hollywood does its job very well. But it is important not to view things from a fearful perspective, because the way to deal with these changes is to remain centered in your heart. Those who are centered in heart and who maintain a strong connection with the heart of this earth will easily survive what is coming, to experience a new life in a very new and very different world. The universe in which we live has indeed been created by a conscious and intelligent mind, and the basis of everything within creation is that of geometry and mathematics. Everything follows the path of sacred geometry, and there is no exception to this rule anywhere within creation. It is in the orbital statistics of our solar system. It exists within plant life and nature. It even exists throughout your body. It is quite literally everywhere throughout all creation. The evolution that is about to occur is long awaited and long expected, as it follows the predictable mathematical steps outlined in the Fibonacci sequence, as does all of nature. The method used in the creation of this number sequence also holds important clues for humankind as to how these changes must be dealt with. For in the Fibonacci sequence, it is by combining the present with the past that the future presents itself. This is why it is so important for modern man to now embrace the old ways and to learn the knowledge of their ancestors. This information is well known in shamanic traditions from all cultures, on all continents. For those who do not learn the old ways, the future will be strange and unpredictable. In this film, I have attempted to explain to you the real structure of this reality, the nature of energy, and of the light and sound that make up this entire universe, and everyone and everything contained within it. I have attempted to show you that this understanding is supported both by ancient traditions and also by modern science. I will say to you again now that all that actually exists within this or any other reality is pure conscious energy. That is truly all there is, and the stuff that this energy is made from is pure, unconditional love. I bring this message to you now because it is important that you receive it. The earth and all that live upon it are about to undergo some very significant changes. But these changes are nothing to be feared, for once you have gained a clear understanding of what this reality truly is, once you have gained knowledge of how the true stuff of the universe actually works, once you have realized your connection to all people and to all things, once you have moved into the heart, then follow the path of the one universal law. Then what is there to fear? What is there to hate? What is there to judge? Understand that the life we are experiencing within this reality is a game of free will being played out by a single consciousness of which we are all merely frequencies. Tune into that space behind your eyes. Realize that to deal with the situation we are faced with in the world today, and to deal with the coming changes, all you really need do is move into your heart. To realize that all that actually exists within this reality is energy consisting of nothing more than pure, unconditional love. Embrace it. Become it. For it is what you are made of. I love you all. In Lakesh.